interestingly then, we can see Samuel Pickering, who was not present.
It's on fire.
Running. Back here with a vengeance, Jack Malthus was faster than anybody in this particular session, the club classes earlier on during warm-up and practice, but Samuel Pickering now back with a vengeance. Both of them, both of our club four-wheel drive front runners lapping in the 51s. Samuel Pickering, another driver who we've seen developing his craft through the years, initially running in a session that we used to have called Run Where You Brung, which is no more. And then Samuel Pickering, red flag, is at Paddock Hill. So interestingly then, we can see Samuel Pickering, who was
gutted, honestly, absolutely gutted. As you will have just seen, I had a crash, fairly biggish crash at Brandon's yesterday at Time Attack. So what happened, gone out qualifying, done a banker lap, and then coming round onto the third lap, turned the boost up, came into the corner, Surtees, bit too much speed, lost the back end. I think I had to over brake, back end's gone light, and then it's just rotated and I've stayed into it, trying to catch it, and it had caught it, but too late. The point in which it was just starting to come back, the only place that was to go was into the side of Chris. There was nothing either of us could have done about it. Chris was miles over to the left. He was almost on the grass. He'd seen me coming. He'd obviously got off the race line so that he's not affecting my lap. I could see that I was on a hot lap. Devastating, just shit. Both in the same team, just to add salt to the wounds. Both in the same garage. We've both had difficulties all year, you know, with reliability, running issues. And we're just starting to get it together. And, you know, we were hoping for a mega lap. Chris set his personal best there in the warm-up and the practice. And then both cars trashed. I'm going to assess the damage, you know, on mine. I'll show you roughly what's been done, and then the bits and bobs what's left of the bumper. The trouble now moving forward is, as you'll all know, a lot of the parts that I've made are all bespoke parts. So like the front bumper was a one-off, wings, you know, everything's a one-off. So I don't have molds of quite a lot of the stuff. So it's going to be all one-off stuff again, you know, moving forward now. I think, I'm not going to say never. I might wake up tomorrow and have a change of heart, but I think that's it for the season. We'll go out. I'll have a little look at the car and see what the damage is. But we've just had a bit of a nightmare getting it into the garage. You will have seen on the time lapse. But the main thing, I suppose, Chris is good. He's good. Walked away from it. I'm all right. My shoulder's a bit knackered. Got to go and get a scan on that. But other than that, we're both walking. You know, we're both still here. Cars are fixable, aren't they? You can bend metal back out. So yeah. Anyway, we'll go have a look. See what's what. Oh dear. That's what's left of the front end. I mean, on the plus side, I don't know where my air intake's gone, but we're going to make this. We're going to make this in carbon. Literally, the last video we were talking about it, but every cloud has a silver lining. Yeah, this is what I meant with the sort of these bits, and the whole front bumper is all bespoke, you know, one off. So yeah, we'll have to maybe look at what we're going to do there with that package. Regarding the car, some of the I noticed this is obviously the not the major damage. The major damage is down there, but some of the bumper lines have been damaged, and then the whole spoiler is knackered, as in like, yeah, not good. Let me just turn the torch on. Yeah, damage wise, under here, this wheel we've had to take off. You just seen in the last video, to take this off from the front passenger side, but this is badly damaged. Big hole in it there. Suspension, you know, the white line mounting points have taken a hit on the chassis there. Yeah, the chassis has taken a big hit from the rim there. This mounting point's cracked, I think, or the wheels hit it. Anti-roll bar being they're very strong, but it's bent. All the hard race components have bent. Drive shaft hub's snapped. You can see just in there. Let me focus it. It's snapped, and then the wheel is seen better days. I think that's a little bit of a crack. I'll whip the front door open and we'll go have a look at the front end. I'll see what I can get in the side here as well. The door's taken a bit of a hit. Let me open that. Inside there, again, all down here. This is obviously meant to be out here, you know. Where it all started with that door, if you remember. this door was the first door that we made. Here we are at the business end, so to speak. And yeah, we've had a small fire again. It's like Cadwell all over again, but everything was covered in powder from the marshals. Shout out to the marshals for putting it out, saving it obviously. But looks like what's happened is the oil cooler, which was, if you remember, there was a subframe here where the intercooler goes on. There was a subframe here and an oil cooler bollard at the very bottom there. So what's happened is, I'll show you in a minute, but the oil cooler's completely crushed. It's taken all the grunt, you know, of the impact, and then sprayed all over the red hot headers and downpipe, obviously down there. So check the torch was on, and then that being like glowing red, it's then just ignited and started to torch everything. The front motorsport blanket is still intact, even though it's been quite clearly had a few lick of flames on it. We've lost all of the coolant. I mean, that goes without saying, I think. The radiator's taken a big hit at the bottom there, as you can see, just down the bottom there. I think the downpipe's actually gone into the radiator, so that's split. Other than that though, it's not, I mean, when you shut the bonnet, all the bonnet pins still line up and the headlights still line up. So I think what's happened, I'll put it in the screen now, but I think as I've been coming, sliding, the car's come back round, and then this front wheel area here has clipped Chris's car, which has then brought the back of the car to hit him quite severely in his back quarter, which has then sent me going up in the air, and then to like add to that, the front splitter of mine has dug into the grass, and you can see on the slow-mo now, you can just see you're digging into the grass and then sending the back of the car right up. And I think that's where all the damage has been done, really, from that nosing into the grass, you know, and then it's ripped all this front end off. But it's not too bad, really. Just need to start getting bits off. The chassis leg's taking a little bit of a hit there, but not much. Just maybe an inch that way, maybe. But yeah, hopefully, touch wood, the engine is alright. We don't know what the condition the engine is in at the minute. So I'm going to get the front end jacked up, drain the oil out of it, and then we'll have a look, and go from there. Start getting bits off and planning what is going to happen. It's going to be obviously a new subframe, and yeah, I've just pulled the logs off. So what I'll do is I'll nip inside and we'll have a look exactly entry speeds, you know, like comparative to previous lap entry speeds, and see exactly what happened. But yeah, from like first sort of looks into it all, if the camera will stay, it looks to be not too bad. The sump's still all fine. Headers and downpipe look to be good. The ball joint popped out on this side. Let me just show you that. The ball joint popped out, and I've put it back in to get back on the trailer, but everything else, it snapped a front drive shaft. There's no drive shaft in there. Well, there is a drive shaft, but you can just see it laying down on top of the wishbone there. But the wishbone's not bent. Everything looks sort of in place. Anti-roll bars and whatnot. Suspension has snapped at the top. Oh no, it's not snapped, sorry, just bent. And then the wheel is this the good wheel? Oh, this is a good wheel that was on the back passenger side, if you remember, where I just took it off, you know, swapped it. Wings, not completely knackered. A few scrapes and stuff, battle scars, but yeah, I don't think it's horrendous. But yeah, I'll go inside Intercooler, that was the other thing. That's survived. It's just bent a couple of the top mounting points, just like a tiny little bit in, so they just need bending back. I'll go show you that, and I'll show you the oil cooler as well. That's trashed, but yeah. The seat, Mike. I'll put a clip in the screen now. But you want to, on the video of the impact, this seat appears to move about, I don't know, like to the middle of the car. But Mike in the EK9, Mike Andrews, he said, have your seat mounts snapped? Because the movement in that seat is like ridiculous. But I think it's actually absorbed quite a lot of the energy, do you know, of the crash. But yeah, in answer to your question, Mike, no, the seat mounts haven't snapped. I think it's just general flex in the seat. Nothing seems to be damaged inside here, to be honest. Yeah, there we have the intercooler, and it's not actually damaged, quite unbelievably. Zero damage, in fact. No dints or buckles or bends or anything. As I said a minute ago, the only thing that appears to be damaged on it is just these two little brackets on the top. You can see from that angle, they've literally just bent like a tiny little bit down, so that'll just be a case of, well, just bending that back up. Let me just move this. What else did I want to show you? The oil cooler. So let me just get some gloves on. Oil cooler's alright. You can bend that out in the vise. Sound that way. No, the oil cooler's trashed, so yeah, it's actually pissing everywhere, so that's what took the brunt of the force. Let me show you in here because the light's shit. Yeah, you can see a bit better in here. I've just spilled it all, but that's a before and this is an after. Yeah, it's a little mangled. But yeah, it'll need a new one of those for sure. Just a real quick look at the logs, as I said. So this is Surtees, coming into Surtees here. This would be Surtees. This was the 51-second lap, so this was lap 2. And then we're coming back out onto the main straight. And as you can see in the cal switch, which is here, I'd gone from 1.6 bar. I'd pressed the button on the dash and it took me to cal 1, which takes me up to the 2.5 bar. You can see the big step up there in the boost. So this is the home straight. So we're going to go 4th, 5th and 6th gear home straight in the button, you know, full power. And then for the rest of the lap, I thought I was in full power, but I'm actually in cal 3, so I'm only at 580 brake for the rest of the lap until the actual impact. So my initial thought of carrying too much speed because of the increase in power is out the window, sort of. Because if we look at entry speed into Surtees here, this is entry speed, this line here. Look at the entry speed into Surtees here, we're looking at 111 mile an hour peak there. And then sort of carrying minimum corner speed 89 mile an hour through there. And then before going into clearways, back on the throttle a little bit, back up to 97 mile an hour. And then this is clearways, what are we doing on clearways? 58 mile an hour. So the lap afterwards, which is, we're coming in here, we're looking at an entry speed of 115 mile an hour. So we're 4 mile an hour up on the previous lap, which was a 51-second lap. So we're faster entry speed, and then we're sort of carrying, albeit the wheels will be spinning, so this isn't accurate, but it's saying 81 mile an hour down to 78 mile an hour. But the actual point of impact, wheel speed, because this is wheel speed in the ECU, not GPS speed. Point of impact, 74 mile an hour. Yeah. That's what the logs are showing us anyway.